Hey guys, I'm Lucas, welcome to K-News episode 34 covering the upcoming Soyuz launch to the International Space Station. Russia's extremely reliable launcher has a launch capability of a little over 7 tons to low Earth orbit, which is roughly 1/3 of the recently launched Proton. Its first 2 stages consist of the core, 4 strap-on boosters, followed by a third upper stage, which will bring its payload to orbit. The upcoming flight is manned, so the Soyuz is equipped with a launch abort system meant to save the crew. However, saving lives does not necessarily mean the astronauts would walk away healthy. The solid rocket booster on top must be very strong to get away quickly and accelerate much harder than the rocket below it. The G-forces exceed what the human body can take for several seconds, which would very likely lead to injuries. Just by the way, Blue Origin, who built the New Shepard rocket, announced such a launch abort in near future. It will be performed during maximum aerodynamic pressure at the most critical phase of the flight. Now back to Soyuz. The launch is scheduled for today evening from Baikonur, Kazakhstan, and the rocket will head for a 51 degrees inclined orbit right after the launch site rotates into the ISS orbital plane. The rocket carries the last Soyuz human transport module, TMA-20M, which will be replaced by an upgraded version on the next flight in June. On board are the Russian cosmonauts Alexei Ovchinin and Oleg S, and the astronaut Jeffrey Williams for the US. Alexei is 44 years old and was born in Rybinsk, Russia, and graduated as a pilot engineer in 1992. He was selected as a test cosmonaut in 2006, and this will be his first flight to space. His Russian colleague Oleg is 2 years older and was born in Nevinomysk. He graduated in 1993 as a mechanical engineer, but was a member of the Young Cosmonauts group long before that. There he worked for Energia, which is one of the biggest companies in the Russian space industry, building the Soyuz spacecraft. Not to confuse with the Soyuz rocket, of course. He was selected as a test cosmonaut in 1997, and his first flight to the ISS was in 2010, joining the expeditions 25 and 26. The oldest of the 3 is Jeffrey Williams, who was born in Wisconsin, USA in 1958, which makes him, well, 58. He spent almost half his life serving for the US military, where he obtained several academic degrees, including an honorary doctorate for business administration in 2007, when he also retired from active duty. He became astronaut in 1996 and logged with 362 days, almost a full year in space, from which 19 hours were on EVA. His first flight was in the year 2000 on the Space Shuttle Atlantis, and he served as a flight engineer and lead spacewalker, building the International Space Station. His other 2 flights were on board a Soyuz, in 2006 for Expedition 13 and 2009 as commander on Expedition 22. He will again take command on the second half of its recent mission on Expedition 48. Now back to Soyuz. Having separated from the upper stage, the Soyuz transport module will slowly but surely catch up with the station, performing several burns to raise its orbit gradually. Next to the crew, Soyuz will also bring a lot of cargo to the station, like supplies and experiments. On board is also a Russian 3D printed CubeSat, which is 30 cm long and 10 cm wide. It is of course not entirely printed, and just the housing was fabricated like that. It will be released from the station at some point, and sensors will measure how the new material behaves in space, exposed to the very high temperature changes. This data will help to improve the composite, which will be used for future missions. Once arrived, it will dock with a Russian Poisk docking module, which was added to the station in 2009. It's on this side, which faces space, which means the astronauts will probably have a very good view of Earth during the docking phase. Okay, that was K-News 34 covering Soyuz and focusing a little more on the astronauts this time. I think I will keep it that way on ISS launches to learn a little more about the astronauts, but please feel free to share your opinion about it. Auf Wiedersehen and thank you for watching.